Lloyd, you have not rejected or endorsed Bitcoin, okay? But when does Goldman have to have a Bitcoin strategy?
Have to have it?
Yeah.
Not today. I mean, I said when. I'd say life must be really, really rosy if this is what we're talking about. It just feels...
This is what Wall Street's talking... Okay, so I was talking to Jeff Curry over at Goldman the other day, and he said the only thing that people are asking him are Bitcoin and EVs. So you're a huge investment bank.
Life must be really rosy if this is... Yes, I'm thinking about it because I get asked about it. I said, look, where I am is, it's not for me, but there's a lot of things that weren't for me in the past that worked out very well. If you told me that if it was 20 years forward and it worked out, I could tell you why it worked out. But based on everything I know, I'm not guessing that it will work out. But I can't say, I'm not going to stand there and be strident and say it's a fraud. It can't, because it might.
Alex, I think also people confuse Bitcoin with BitChain. There is a blockchain. There is a technology where you can have different accesses to data, different people can control it, you can see who's doing what and that sort of thing. And there are places where that is a useful thing. In fact, the Bloomberg system is a blockchain. We just, instead of having the users control it, we control it, but it has all the attributes of that. Bitcoin is something very different. Bitcoin, and there's a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies that have been started every day, you have a new one. That's something very different, and whether or not the governments of the world will lose control of monetary policy, I'm skeptical. They're just not going to let that happen, and they shouldn't.
Something that moves up and down 20% in a day doesn't feel like a current, doesn't feel like a store
and
of
it's just being quoted up and down. There's no value.
Maybe not a currency, but Jeff Curry told me it was a commodity, and that goes to your expertise, Lloyd. You grew up in the commodity business. So talk to me about what are the unregulated trading world of Bitcoin? Like, where's the fraud going to come?
The whole concept is... well, first of all...
But is it buyer, is it seller, is it price discovery? Like, where's the risk there in the financial
one of the main uses of Bitcoin is as a vehicle for perpetrating fraud. I mean, because you can't trace it. There's no payment...
So is cash, sometimes.
So is cash, but guess what? It's hard to accumulate cash sometimes.
Yeah, but the world is going in a different direction, if you think about it. Go look in China, where they're basically getting rid of cash. Everybody is paying with their smartphones. People who are begging in the streets have a little sign next to where they're sitting in the streets. These are people who really need help from society. Instead, they're sitting there begging for money. They have a sign with a code on it, a QR code. If you want to give them money, you point your cell phone at the QR code, hit a button, and they have a bank account. And that's the way they're getting their money. China is heading in the direction, and they've gone a very large way, as is India starting to do the same thing, getting rid of cash. And one of the reasons is that you can then stop the black market and stop the drug dealers, and you can track where all the currency is going. We're not going to go in a different direction. Now, America may not be ready to go there, although we're going to be left behind if we don't, because this is a much more efficient ways of paying for goods and services.
So, Lloyd, that's
they're also going to know what everybody's doing with their money.
Of course they're going to know, but Google already knows exactly what you're doing.
And Amazon, by the way.
Nobody complains about that.
But Lloyd, so that raises the question. You have to be thinking about an investment banking strategy with Bitcoin. I can't believe that you're not.
No, I don't have to be thinking about that.
You want to tell me that you're not talking to any of your guys?
What?
You're not talking to your guys about what the strategy is going to be?
I hear it and I do it, but it was spending too... It's just, we'll see. If it works out and it gets more established and it trades like a store of value and it doesn't move up and down 20% and there's liquidity in it, we'll get to it. But you asked me, the original question was, when do small business people have to think about their Bitcoin strategy? I'd worry about opening the doors, producing things that people want to buy, dealing with their, business planning.
Lloyd, but if I'm a client of yours and I say, Lloyd, I got to get exposure to Bitcoin, what do you tell them? Not yet?
I say, let me make a call and see if I can help you.
And what would that be?
I'd call somebody else because I don't really know.
But what would the help? I mean, so how do you do that?
Well,
how do you give them exposure?
What are you trying to do with your Bitcoin? When you say you need to have a strategy on
Alex, do you have Bitcoins? Is that it? Is that what's going on?
No, I don't have Bitcoins. I'm definitely not pumping my book.
Yeah, is
my
this
husband
like
would kill me. Lloyd is deflecting this answer, by the way, I got to say. No, but
but there isn't a question to go. He doesn't have an answer because there's no question. This is a creation, it's brilliant though it may be, without it, and it doesn't really have a utility other than maybe to try to hide a few transactions. And even that, drug dealers aren't going to be able to use Bitcoins in quantity. And this is it.
By the way, if they stamp my face on it, I'd be more likely to use it.
There you go.
It also, I'm trying to think of the corollary, but it reminds me of how on Bloomberg television and Bloomberg radio, every day I listen to people who are very smart, and they talk about whether the Fed is going to raise interest rates by 25 basis points in the next 6 months.
It reminds me of tulips.
What are you going to do?
That
but what are you going to do with the information?
Let's assume that.
I hope the Fed. I understand that. Then I want you to do this.
Well, okay, then
and I listen.
let's round it out here.